if I even spoke like this, I wouldn't be alive today. I would not be alive. I'd be him dead. I'd be dead.
Pascal. Now rocking with that
there is a video. There's a video that I saw on Instagram that I wanted to show you guys. Now, this is something that I feel is what today's parents have to deal with on the daily. Now, there is like I said, this video is starting to get shared a lot. And I figured this is a something a little bit light, but it also has to deal with, I feel like it has to deal with like child rearing nowadays, what parents have to deal with on a regular because of how kids can be nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get no respect. You know, Rodney Dangerfield, shout out to Rodney Dangerfield, R.I.P. But this particular video, the title is, Father Records Daughter Wildly Disrespecting Him on the Phone. I figured we need to see this really quick before we go into our soap conversation. I think we could do this quickly. You just got to hear what this girl says to him. It's wild. This is her father. This is a dad dealing with his daughter. Take a listen.
Hello.
I don't want to talk.
But dang, how you doing today?
Good, I don't want to talk.
Why you always tell me that?
Because I don't like talking to you. I don't like talking to you.
But you won't even let me ask the question before you try to answer.
You just said, how are you? You just said, how are you?
Oh my goodness, Demi, why you so rude to your daddy?
Right.
I don't like talking to you.
But that doesn't give you a reason to be rude. You gotta honor your mother and your father, sweetheart.
Okay, I don't want to talk.
I get that much, but you don't have to be rude about it.
I said I don't want to talk.
I know that. I heard you the first 4 times, but you still need to stop being rude. That's the whole thing about it.
I'm telling you something and you're not listening.
Because I'm the parent, you can't tell me nothing. That's the thing.
I can express my feelings.
You definitely can, but you can do that without being rude as well. That's
Word.
the whole thing. That's the key.
Okay.
You don't be rude and you don't be disrespectful. Okay, but you don't have to talk over me
I don't want
either.
to talk.
But you don't have to talk over me. So if you don't want to talk and you're going to talk over me, you could just be quiet and let me say what I got to say. You get that from your mama. I love you and I miss you anyway.
I'm sorry.
It's perfect logic broke her brain.
You got that from your mama. Okay. Oh man. Okay. So
Low blow. Low blow.
You man, low blow, but hey, man. Sometimes, man. But here it is. Okay. Now, I of course, in my personal opinion, if this was my child, my lord. First off, that child would never speak to me like that at all, ever. Real talk. But that is true. That is real. There are kids that do talk to their parents exactly like that. And I don't know how old the child is or anything of that sort, but at the same time, there's a certain level of respect that a parent deserves no matter what. No matter what. You don't talk over your parents like that. Man, I grew up Haitian. Trust me, if I even spoke like this, I wouldn't be alive today. I would not be alive. I'd be him dead. I'd be dead. Okay? But we have kids out here that do act exactly like this, that speak to their children, speak to their parents just like this. And it's okay. Parents don't do, like, I feel like some parents don't discipline their kids so that they know better not to talk to them this way. It's crazy to me. I'm going to throw around the round table. David, thoughts? What are your thoughts on that story, man?
Yeah, all right. I think he was handling it pretty well. Everything he said made sense to me. I did think it was kind of funny after he points out that if she doesn't want to talk, she can just shut up. Her brain kind of just shuts down and she starts screaming.
Yep.
But I mean, I have to agree with him on that. If I don't want to talk to somebody, I'm not going to keep talking to them. I'm just going to be quiet until they're done and then leave. So, I mean, yeah, I think he's trying to do a good job here. It looks like he might be having somebody else. Maybe the mother is working against him, or maybe this girl just has some bad friends she shouldn't be hanging out with. But I think he's trying to do a good job.
Yeah. I mean, he handled it as best as he could on the phone, right? And I'm sure he probably, given the fact that it was recording, like there was, he was recording it and everything, I'm sure he probably would have raised his voice a little bit differently or spoke to her a little bit differently if the camera was not on, if they were not recording at that time. But yes, he did handle it fairly well. I mean, The end part was funny where he was like, you get this from your mama. But at the same time, that's not good either, because you don't want to put your partner, right? Because even if you are co-parenting, right? Say that he's not, like, it's not the traditional nuclear family of the father, mother, and child. It is funny, but he shouldn't be pitting his, let's just say, the BM against, you know what I'm saying? Like, to kind of throw her under the bus. Like, you get this from the way you're acting this way. The reason why you're being this disrespectful is because this is what your mom put on you. Like, that's not how you do it either. It is funny, but that's not what you do. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there could have been a better way at the end of how to handle the situation. Brianne, what are your thoughts?
So if I talked to either one of my parents like that,
facts.
My mom or dad would have pulled that what that officer did to that one woman in that Walmart and throat punched the mess out of me. Woo. I would not have been able to talk.
You'd be in the arms of an angel, dead.
Right. Dead. No, yeah, I would have never thought to talk. Well, I mean, I backtalk my parents, but not that bad. But I kind of thought it was hilarious, like the way he just hit her with that logic, and she could not compute at the end. Just that was hilarious to me.
Her rage was she was overwhelmed so badly with rage that she just starts screaming. Yeah. It's like, come on, man, really? You had no problem talking to him a certain way, but as soon as he rebutted with something quick and witty, you just lost all words, all vocabulary.
To me, she sounded like she might be like a preteen, Clearly. Like she's going through it. She's starting that puberty,
right?
And she's just a little too hot to handle there,
right? What is it? Why is it that I don't remember being that way going through puberty, though. I don't remember being that way personally. I don't. I wasn't a perfect child or anything, but I don't remember. But like I said, Haitian kids do not talk back at their parents, period. Like I said, we would be buried in the backyard, period. So I don't know. I don't remember going through that as a child, personally. You know what I mean? T, thoughts?
It's something that I see often as an educator. Unfortunately, many kids just have this this lack of fear, or this lack of authoritative respect towards teachers, parents, elders in general. And I know how I was raised, similarly to all of you, where I wasn't allowed to speak up around adults at all, period. If I was not welcome into their conversation, if I wasn't polite, if I didn't raise my hand or say, excuse me, I couldn't even speak up. So when adults were around, I had to go to my room. I had to go outside and play. So for me to even speak to my mother or any adult in that kind of fashion is something I'm not used to as a child. But as society has changed, we have given freedoms and liberties to everybody, which is great in a way, but we need balance. And the kid should always be in a child's place. So if your father is calling you on a cell phone that he probably bored, and you're giving him this instant backlash, not even greeting him with "Hi, Daddy, how you doing?" then there are some issues that are deeply rooted in that relationship between the father and daughter, or maybe all three, including the mother as well, because the father did point out that you're just like your mother. So I'm assuming the dynamics of the family are turbulent, and that she's picking up negative behaviors from her mother. And every child, I mean, really, their actions are typically learned behaviors. And if that child's around mom and dad doing that, then she's learned that that's okay, quote unquote, to do to dad as well. So unfortunately, they need to see some family counseling. If they are co-parenting, and there are issues with custody, these things can go to family court. So I'm happy that this is being recorded, but at the same time, this is a private issue, and it probably should not have been put online necessarily. But it is a good talking point, a good dialogue for us to go over dynamics of the family household and what we expect from our kids in society today.
You know, it's you know, what you just said is very true. You know, that this video, you know, even though it is for our own entertaining benefit or for our own entertainment benefit, yes, absolutely, man. It didn't need to be seen. You know, it could have been a glimpse into a bad day for her, you know, or you never know. We don't know what was going on before they started recording the conversation. She could be upset about a multitude of things. He could be, you never know. He could be the greatest dad in the world, or he could be a deadbeat at the same damn time. We don't know. All we know is that we're seeing her upset, and he is just trying to gain the respect, right? And hold his ground. And but that is very true. We shouldn't be. This is a video we shouldn't be seeing, but it is out there for us to talk about. David, go ahead.
Just the fact that he stayed calm and controlled the whole time kind of suggests to me that this is his behavior, because she wasn't able to bait him whatsoever. Like, he just would not fall for her yelling or whatever. And he was just always trying to be clear about what he saw as the problem. So I would think that it's very likely he does respond like this normally, because most people that you know, don't respond calmly to anger, they're not going to be able to stay calm when their kid starts yelling at them, I don't think.
Absolutely. What were you going to say, Brianna?
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, okay. No, and you know, and so that's the thing. I mean, I think that when it comes to this video, either this is what he deals with all the time, and she has her own anger issues and whatnot. Like I said, we don't have the full scope of the story, but from seeing it, I'm going, yo, there are kids out here nowadays that are speaking to their parents exactly this way. Whether it is co-parenting or those parents are still together, there's a lot of kids out here that are watching whatever they're seeing on the social media, seeing whatever they're seeing on TV, the shows, whatever, and they're just spouting that stuff back out at their parents, you know. And of course, you know, kids are growing up. Like, you know, this makes me sound like an old man, but it really is. Kids are growing up so much faster now because of the things that they're consuming and the things that they're seeing on their phones. You see what I'm saying? I mean, shoot, man, these kids. I saw a 5-year-old with a phone. I'm like, what? A 5-year-old? He got a phone? Like, that's real. That's real. And they're seeing the social medias and all that stuff. And if the parents aren't really watching those things, or what they're watching and checking out, they're consuming all that crap into their eyeballs, into their brains, and it's seeping all the way down to the bone. And then they start acting a damn fool because they feel like they grown. And it's like, no, you 9. You 9. Sit down. Do your arithmetic. Come on. You're 9. So, you know, I do feel like when it comes, and that's the other problem too. This is another issue. When it comes to disciplining your children, we live in a time now where you know, I was raised with a belt. I'm going to be real. I was raised with a belt. And I'll tell you this. Thank God I was. I probably would have been running amok, acting a damn fool now. I'd probably be a completely different person if I wasn't raised the way I was raised. I was raised Haitian. Shoot, it's almost corporal punishment up in this piece, okay? The way that we get punished, real talk. But at the same time, I appreciated that. But now, click decades later, the way children are raised now is completely different. You know, put a hand to them, you know, smack their bottom, etc., to discipline them. In instantly, it turns into abuse. And I don't agree with that. I feel like there's a certain level of discipline that is needed so that children understand respect and understand boundaries. But like I said, that's just that's my own personal opinion. I'm maybe a little bit old school when it comes to certain things like that. I don't have any children of my own, but I know that my children will never speak to me like she did to her father in that video, personally. Just saying.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.